So High on the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Andrew.
And Matt from Dance Gavin Dance.
And some questions to say about the upcoming album Pantheon. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response, the announcement so far?
Feeling great so far. It's been awesome. Obviously, this is a new era for the band, and so it's rife with commentary and people's opinions, which is always great. It keeps things active and lively, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
We worked super hard on the album, and so to see our diehard fan base and like the people that have stuck by the band for 20 years, just like being so stoked about the direction and being able to do the tour we just got off of and see everybody just excited and thrilled and open-minded to the future of the band has been awesome. It's been really cool.
Yeah, it seems the response seems really solid. We didn't really know what to expect. We had we were super hopeful, but we had our the mixed opinions and doubts with the singer change, and didn't know how a lot of people would handle that. But with the single so far, everyone's super excited. And at the end of the day, like, we were all really excited with how it turned out, so that's really all that matters. And but as far as the fans, they were really excited on this tour, and playing the new songs live went really good. They actually, in my opinion, were like the best crowd responses during the live. So
that's great
excited
to hear. Well, the album absolutely rips. This has got to be my favorite Dance Gavin Dance record by far. We got to check it out ahead of this, and it absolutely rips.
Thanks, guys.
Completely.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yes, for both. So we kicked around, God, Matt, we kicked around probably like 40 titles when we were coming up with this thing. 50 titles.
Yeah, when we're brainstorming stuff, people just start like firing it out and there's a lot of really stupid ones. One of the really dumb ones that I always remember that John pitched, it was kind of a joke, and then we actually all kind of considered it, but it was barbecue.
Wait, what was it? One more time?
Science barbecue.
Science barbecue, yeah.
I kind of fuck with it.
I was like, so stupid, but after like saying, we were like, oh yeah, that's actually kind of cool. But no, it came down to we had like a handful that we were actually considering, and then ultimately Will brought it up. Like, anytime we've had, because the art came first, and so we were like, anytime in the past when we had, like with Mothership, the ship as the cover, we named the ship itself. So once that came into play, that kind of whittled things down. It's like, okay, yeah, we just got to think of a cool name for the ship. And I think John pitched
it. Yeah. It was, so answer to the second part of your question too, that kind of led up to that, was we'd gotten the artwork back from Matthias. And we'd all pitched in on coming up with the artwork concept. I remember there's a couple late nights with like me and Matt and me and Will and Matt, just like brainstorming. We for sure wanted like a Baroque style pyramid ship of some kind, like a father ship, if you will, like something that just kind of encapsulated all of the records. But we've also wanted to do like a Atlantis style, like underwater themes. We're kind of like, okay, deep sea, space, like parallels. How do we kind of shoehorn all this together into something really epic and cool? And so we gave all the ideas to Matthias. He killed it. I can't wait for people to see the inside paneling on the vinyl and the inserts. It's so cool. It's some of my favorite DGD artwork we've ever done. But he crushed the ship. And once we got the ship back, and we're like, okay, let's really, like, Will brought that up. I was like, yeah, we should name the ship. Like, that's how we should kind of course correct the naming. And then we were kind of at our wits' end. We were like, we need a name for this. We've gotten 60 titles. Some of them are just ass. Like, what are we going to do with this? And finally, John just kind of put it out. He's like, what about Pantheon? He's like, well, it has this, like, this ancient kind of texture to it. It's simple. It's still like a lot of dance titles have like just a couple of syllables or a few, 2 words, a few syllables. So we felt like Pantheon as a 3-syllable, like 1-word name kind of encapsulated the epicness of it. And then the artwork we got from that afterwards too, like our label came to bat with a bunch of merch designs and really cool stuff that it just, the imagery behind it really, really played well for the record. So
wow, it all came together. It's incredible.
Absolutely. So can you guys tell us a little bit about the writing process for the album?
Yeah, this album like was a little different than others. Meaning like we wrote a whole record. We got together and me, Andrew, Sergio, and Will, we all flew out to Las Vegas and wrote all the instrumentals.
Mhm.
And we did it like old school style. You know, we all like sat in a room. Someone would pitch like a riff or a part, and then we just jam and, you know, craft it into a song. And but then we had the lineup change, and we kind of went back and listened to those songs, and we were like, well, like we want to try and go back in and write some songs that are more catered towards Andrew.
Mhm.
And so we did that. So we did kind of the similar thing, but we did it here in Sacramento, and for the majority of the songs. And then there's a few songs like Peak of Superstition, for example, where like Will kind of just wrote it and structured it himself and sent it over to us, and then we, you know, learned the parts and put our own kind of spins on it. But I'd say the majority of this album was a full collaboration of the instruments, and everyone just bringing their best. And then I'll let Andrew elaborate on vocals.
yeah, vocals was a complete departure from previous DGD records. Like historically, outside of very particular cases on a couple of songs, it's mostly been like John and whoever the lead is just kind of doing their own thing, like separately. And so you'll hear a lot of like this, the lyrical structures they're not very cohesive. They're just kind of off in their own thing because the singers are just doing completely different things. And for different reasons. You know, Johnny had his take, Kurt had his take, Tillian had his take. And it wasn't until probably Jackpot Juicer where like Jackpot Juicer was like me, Tillian, and John in in like an Airbnb in Portland with Chris, and there was a lot more collaboration. It still wasn't like fully collaborated. It would be like, okay, you know, you wrote this, let's kind of springboard off of that. There was a little bit here and there. And then for like the one-off singles we did, like War Machine, and Billy Royalton a little bit. John and I were actively collaborating in those environments, like really well. Like he and I just were good friends, and we just we have like a similar thought process about art.
Mhm.
And so we were able to like play characters and pitch like these narrative ideas, and it just meshed. It like for the two of us, it's just like gelled. And so when this all transpired, we're like, well, we don't have a lot of time to write and record this. We're going on this tour with Falling in Reverse. Let's write all the vocals together in the back of the bus on the tour. And so it was me, John, and Will.
Mm-hmm.
And even Matt came in. He'd throw some ideas down. He'd throw a little riff here and there. And we would just literally we would wake up every day. We'd do our normal routine, do the gym and food, and then we'd just go to work. And we would sit in the back lounge, and I'd have my recording set up, my Apollo and like a little Neumann, and we would just pass the mic around. Be like, you got an idea? No, but I have this. And we'd like workshop rhythms. We'd workshop melodies. And so the whole thing was collaborative, like all the way through, like 100% collaborative. Very few little pieces. Like I think I had written the Robot Rebirth chorus ahead of time. It was like they were like, yeah, this is awesome, let's workshop from there. Or John had pre-written, but outside of that, it was like full-blown collaboration. And you can imagine the quality of the demos is it's pretty terrible.
I can imagine.
You're in the bus, you know, you're bumping along, it's 2 a.m. You're
try not to wake everyone up.
yeah. And so we would just, and there would be parts where, and you hear it on the record, you guys have heard it. There's parts that are funny. There's parts that are, you know, chaotic and emotional, but there's like little quips and stuff in there. And so we would be laughing, like tracking this stuff. And it just felt like a band again. Yeah. Like it felt like what we had set out to do when we were teenagers. Like, fuck the business side, fuck the rest of it. Like, what if we just focus on making something we want to make as artists? And that's how it came out. It was awesome. It was super fun. I really enjoyed that process. And that's like how we put it together. Once we were done with that, we tracked all the vocals with Chris. John and I flew out to Portland, and this is probably the most intensive. It's like one of the longest DGD records, but it's also the most like richly dense with nutrients, like layers.
Mm-hmm.
So vocally, you can hear all these layers of like Will's doing a bunch of stuff. Me and John are stacking. So like when you hear John do like a pitch scream in like McGuffey's, that's actually my voice and his voice stacked. And then there's sometimes where it's flipped, where he's the lead and I'm the support, or I'm the lead, he's the support. We got to experiment a lot with that, which we didn't get to in the past. And so it was the most stacking we'd ever done on vocals in the least amount of time. I think we did the whole thing in like 2.5 weeks, like just for vocals. So we were doing every day. Like we would do 6 days on, 6 days straight, just get in there and just hammer out song after song. So it was intense, but it was really, it was well worth it. Like we're very proud of the ending product. So
as you should be. I'm very curious on how your writing approach differed from the original writing session that you guys had for the instrumentals versus the second writing process that you guys had for the instrumentals, with the brand new switch, you stepping up as the vocalist, and how that kind of changed the dynamic in the songs.
Yeah, I think one big thing was like we kind of fell into this like pop format of writing, um, where it'd be like verse, chorus type deal. And when we did the change and we talked about, like Andrew mentioned, when we were younger and just set out just to make art, and do whatever the hell we wanted, was we kind of wanted to like recreate that. So for me personally, like I went back and I'm not one to like sit around and just like listen to my own band, like it's made. I listened to it a few times. I'm like, oh, this is sick. And then I really only listen to songs if we got to like learn them for upcoming tours. Took the time to like go back and listen to like the whole discography, like all the earlier stuff. And it's like, what did we lose along the way? And I think one of the sounds was kind of that more like progressive of just like parts happening and not repeating again, and some heavier elements, and so we really did kind of seek out to like write some heavier, crazier shit like in our earlier days, with that more progressive feel, while still, for the sake of vocals, like having like choruses and stuff. But I just, and we all kind of had this like new attitude, and like positive like outlook, and I don't know, it just added this unique, it just was fun again. Like we were having a good time. Like I mean, we've always had fun writing, but it kind of, it's our 11th album, and there's a couple albums in there where it really did kind of just seem like, okay, this is our job, this is what we do.
Crank them out.
Yeah. But when we went back in, it was like it was just fun. We were just like having a good time, and we threw in our buddy Martin Bianchini, who's written songs with Dance Gavin Dance before, like Man of the Year and a couple others, and The Jiggler. And he wanted to step up and be a little more involved with writing. So he came to a lot of those sessions, and that in itself helped add like a heavier element to the songs. And all in all, like, yeah, I think that they turned out really cool. And I know we're talking about Pantheon, but now we're gearing up to get started on another one here.
Oh, shit.
My God.
Yeah.
The grind doesn't stop.
It does not. No, we got plenty.
Stack them up.
Well, I'm just curious, just to get a full idea. I know we've kind of been talking about some touch points on where the record was being worked on, but when did the writing process start, and then when did you guys have masters in hand? Just rough dates to get the full scope on things.
Oh man, that's a tough one. Just because, like Matt had said, we went through so many iterations of writing. I mean, by the time that we had like to kind of whittle down what we got from Pantheon, we had a well over 20 songs. I mean, we had probably 20 some odd, 25 songs to choose from. we ended up recording some that didn't, we obviously demoed some that didn't make it on, but we even recorded some that didn't make it on but for the very ending product. And so it was a process. Obviously, I would say, like, once the other thing was masters. Mixing was intense. We had you have all these keys and all these layers that are going in with the guitar work, and we did some more production stuff in some of the choruses with some synth work and stuff that kind of going the extra mile that hasn't been done on previous dance records. And so Chris had he had a time. It was quite a mix, and put his all into it. But I don't know, when did we get masters back, Matt? Do you know the month?
The masters we got back around, oh, well, no, those were just bounces, doesn't say around Thanksgiving, but the actual masters came in like March.
Yeah, we got bounces in Thanksgiving because that's when John and I rapped vocals. So I was going to say March as well, like February, March, from like finishing vocals to like getting the mix done and getting masters and getting it in hand to the label. That was probably March. So, but from writing, almost a whole year's worth of like writing between multiple sessions, though. Like it was like, okay, this is the record we're gonna make, and it's like, oh well, we're changing the lineup. All right, we're gonna make a new record. Like it was like writing 2 entire records, which we can do it like that. But it's like writing 2 records, a record every 6 months or something, right?
I was trying to look to see when we actually started in Las Vegas. I think it was I know it was over summer.
It was June or something.
I think it was 2023.
Yeah.
But it was this was the longest process of any other record, but because of unforeseen circumstances. But yeah. So that's why this next one we're like, let's start it now. Let's quicker turnaround time.
Absolutely. But I mean, it took a minute to get there, but it seems like once you had the masters in hand, I mean, the record came out in less than 6 months. Like once the masters are handed in, so you didn't have to sit on the finished product.
Yes, that was a benefit. Yeah.
The hardest thing about it too is like, once it's done and once it gets sent out to people, you run the risk, which has happened, and I don't want to throw this out there because then people will go looking for it, but of leaks. It leaks, and Reddit loves it when shit leaks. And so
I didn't even know the record was floating out there.
No, I didn't. I haven't seen it or heard it.
Good.
That's good.
No,
it
hasn't. Don't go look for it.
No, it's cool. This has been the most pre-saved DGD record of all time.
That's great.
And our last one was a top 10 Billboard charter, so we got fingers crossed. But this one's almost doubled in pre-saves from Jackpot Juicer, which is insane.
Damn! Congratulations.
People are excited about it, even with the leak. It's like the people that are stoked, or it's like that niche community that has it, and then the people at large are like, yeah, like I'll listen to it when it comes out. I'll buy it when it's ready.
Exactly.
So
and to add to that, total side note, but it's so funny, like how the music industry and stuff, like it changes, because for a long time it was like Billboard positioning that matters, and then now here we are, and for this album it's all about the pre-saves, and so. And before that, it'd be like first week album sales, and so the adaptation of the industry and like what's numbers mean is kind of interesting to me, how it always is evolving.
Absolutely. And Matt, if it makes you feel any better, this interview is going to come out like on album release week. So mentioning the leak, the record should be out by then.
Exactly.
All right, good. Then yes, this album has leaked.
It is out there.
It's been downloaded,
but it's on Spotify now, and you can buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stream it through the right sources.
There you go. So what song off the album took the longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorite?
Ooh, good question.
I'd say for instrumentals, we write pretty quick. Like when we go into the studio and are collaborating together, it's like we'll turn a song around in like an hour, 2 hours. But
I'll comment on that when you're done. It's pretty crazy.
One that really took some restructuring and for the instruments was shit. So we always have working titles for the songs, and then they change.
Which track? What's track?
What's Brain Dead?
Oh, the very last track on the record.
Yeah.
It's Descend to Chaos.
Yeah, Descend to Chaos.
That
So
did that went through many iterations. Yeah,
that
you're right.
that took a lot, like a lot of changes, and had to mold it. So I would say Descend to Chaos took the most time.
I think it went from like an 8.5 minute song to what it is now, which is still like a 6 minute song. Like it
Yeah.
was.
It's not 8 minutes though. So.
It ain't 8 though. Sorry, Prague. Sorry, Prague kids. Not 8.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I would agree with Matt. Instrumentally, that one was probably the trickiest to pull off. To comment on his earlier comment, the writing process with Dance is insane. Like I've written with a lot of different people. I've collaborated with a lot of different bands and writers, and Dance, I love this band. I love these guys. They're some of the most talented, hardworking people I've ever gotten the pleasure to work with. And it's just insane. Like you get the four of us in a room, and it's just like cranking the faucet. It's just ideas like nonstop. Like it when we did our first writing sessions in Vegas, we had I think we had like 5 days. We had like 5 days there to come and write. And we did all 5 days in a row, and we did 2 songs a day. And not just like writing them, we like demo tracked them. So what would happen is like we would sit in the room, and we were fortunate. It was a place that doesn't exist anymore. Unfortunately, it was called Black Box in Vegas, where they would have like a live room, and then you'd go right across the hall, and there'd be a recording room. And so what we would do is we'd sit in the writing room, and we'd get a song done, and Matt would go, okay, I'm gonna go have a smoke, program the click, then hit me. And so we'd get the click in, and then he would go and start tracking drums. And Will and I would sit in the other room and be like, okay, what's the next riff? And then we'd write the riff, and then he would go track guitar, and then Matt would come back in. I'd show him the riff, and then we'd start on song number 2. And we would do that for 5 straight days. It wasn't until like the very last day where we're like, okay, I'm getting a little burnt. My brain's a little mashed potatoes, but like, let's get it done. And we got 10 songs done in like less than a week.
And I do want to add that the person tracking the instrumental demos was our buddy Spencer, the singer of Periphery.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
War drop. All right.
We're good friends with all those guys. Great friends with Misha. Great friends with Wayne, their manager. Like all of those guys are spectacular musicians as well, as everyone knows. And Spencer was working at that studio, and he was engineering, producing his own projects like King Mothership and some of these other projects he does. And we're like, yeah, dude, like engineer these demos. Let's go to work. And he was super down, super great to work with. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then both your own personal favorite.
Oh, yeah.
The record. Mm-hmm.
That's tough. It changes for me all the time. I have so many that I really, really like that mean a lot to me in different ways. Songs that are like catchier on some days, hook me in. I think consistently, Robot Rebirth for me is like a top contender. I'm really proud of that chorus and the bridge lines too. That song to me is like about like the struggle of Dance Gavin Dance, of like overcoming obstacles and fucking wading through the mire just to like get to the next phase and still be killing it and still be on top is like insane. So that song means a lot to me. And The Stickler, I think, a similar token is like the artistry process, that wrestling internally of this kind of Sisyphusian pushing the boulder uphill type of premise. And there's a lot of tension in that song that I really like. So I think between those two is usually a tie up for me.
Yeah, I love Midnight at McGuffey's. The second we finished that song and I was listening to it, I was like, just makes me feel a certain way. The instrumentals and then the vocals went on it, and then they got like some really funny shit. And it's just, I don't know. I really enjoy that song, and I really like playing it live. And then also for me, I'd have to say The Stickler. One thing that came up earlier in a question about, what was different with writing like the new batch of songs. For me was like, it kind of hit me one day. It's like, I hit a certain point, in my level of playing where it's like, oh man, I don't think I'm ever going to get any better. Like, this is just where I'm at. And when we started writing these new songs, I was like, no, that's bullshit. Like, I need to try harder. I need to push myself harder. And so when we wrote the Stickler, like I really like tried hard and like gave it my all. And so I feel like my drums turned out really crazy for that song. And yeah, I know they are because I just had to relearn it because we filmed a video for it. And I was like,
Yes.
God damn it, why did I do this to myself?
What? Mhm.
But so yeah, I'm really proud of the Stickler and song turned out.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Wonderful.
So how'd the track list for your album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer, shuffle around, see what fits? What was that process like?
Great question. I'll let Matt take that one.
Oh man, you know that's a good question. Will's a lot of time will really give us heavy input on the track listing, because for this album there were songs that were written to like be an opener, like Robot Rebirth. Originally, Will wrote it and was like, "This is going to be the album opener," but it didn't stick, you know. So uh, things did change along the way. Descend to Chaos, when that song was written, we were like, "Yes, this is for sure going to be an album ender." Martin wrote it, so we were like, "Okay, it's kind of." Going to be similar vibes to like Man of the Year, which ends Mothership, and so all the stuff in the middle, we kind of look at songs that were like, this is for sure going to be a single. So, you know, singles are usually placed pretty early on the album. But what's different about this album is that rule didn't really apply because like the Stickler is going to be a single. So the like singles are sprinkled throughout the entire album from start to finish. So, um, but one thing that Will did do when he submitted a track listing for us was it kind of had the album kind of takes a shift where it ends on a really heavy note. So like the whole back half of the album, which would be the second vinyl, um, is like way heavier. So if you listen to it in two settings, it's like a more pop structured, fun DGD songs on the first vinyl, and then the second vinyl is like the more like heavier tracks.
Yeah, I'll make a quick aside comment on that where I think it worked out perfectly. I think, we all had a level of input on it to, to say like where we wanted to take things. And to me, narrative wise, that flow really fits with the overall lyric themes of the record as well.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of starts out with like Animal Surgery is the overture of like kind of putting in perspective, where the band has been, where it's been going. Like it's really an overture. It's like a traditional overture. And then it goes into these like fun, chaotic, like, Conqueror Worm. You've got these, it's like DGD absurdism at its peak of like John Mess, like doing some crazy Rat King voice. And, you got Will doing his Sherman character with his like SoundCloud rap auto tune. You got like, it just goes through these like this like kind of fun playful like, oh, everything's burning but it's all cool, and then it starts like Space Cow, and then onwards you have this definite shift in tonality both lyrically and sonically that's like, okay, well, this is the through line. Like it's really a commentary about society and modernity at large, and like the global catastrophe and war and all these different things that we're making commentaries to, especially in songs like oh fuck, I'm doing the same thing you were, Matt, blanking on the blood blanket. What did we do with what did we call that one?
Oh, Shoulder to Cry On.
Shoulder to Cry On. Yeah. That song really is just like heavy hitting like commentary, dark web, and then it goes all the way down to the very ending lines of Descend to Chaos, where you're like, all right, it's fucked. It's all fucked. What are you gonna do? So I think that the track listing really played into the lyric and sonic themes of the record and had a really good place in the through line. So
that's dope.
Wonderful. And would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating the record?
Mine, for like the newer songs that ended up on there was like just really positive, like, yeah, let's do this. Like we got this. Just excited to be writing and making music with my friends, and but at the same time, like there was a little bit of pressure, which is good, and I do it to myself, of course. That like this has to be good. Like I got to give it my all. I got to try my hardest.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, all in all, but like I was good, I was just had a good positive outlook for what the future was going to bring, and I wasn't too like I don't know. That's a good question. I could really reflect on that. So sorry, my
No,
answer
but
is on
it's good to hear that for you specifically, you were feeling good. You were feeling positive and excited to be working.
The other thing too that I want to mention too is these were all these songs. This was the first writing session I've ever done as like a clean and sober person.
Hmm.
For shit, my entire career in Dance Gavin Dance, I'd be stoned out of my mind, hungover, kind of buzzed, like,
Mhm.
and not in a very good headspace. At the
Right.
time I thought I was, but it turns out I wasn't. And so like that was another thing, like to go into these writing sessions for me, like clear headed and like feeling good, and that added a whole new spectrum for me too. So that was a cool experience.
That's so great
That
to
is
hear.
wonderful. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, definitely. This was also my first experience doing a record like completely bone dry sober, and going in with clarity. And this was obviously, like, I'll be fully transparent and vulnerable on this. Like this one was like difficult for me. It was very nuanced emotionally and spiritually for obvious reasons. Like this, if I take away the business element, the fact that it's like, this is how I feed my daughter, this is how I pay my bills, like there's a legacy attached to this band, there's so much to think about. If I extrapolate myself from that, in those moments where I'm just focused on making good art and being with my friends and like making something that I'm proud of, I was having the best time of any record I've ever done. I mean, even in the hardest moments, it was still a beautiful cathartic experience. Like it was just fun. Like I was just having fun. Like the writing process, when we'd go and we'd write, just having a blast. And like the writing the vocals, even when John and I were like on our last leg, like third week of tracking vocals, like so exhausted trying to get everything done, we still had gratitude, and we were still so stoked on the product that we were making, and we had a great time together. We grew together even closer as friends. Like it was, those components are great. I'll cherish those memories forever. On the backside of it, like I've done interviews in the past where I said I did not want this position in Dance Gavin Dance for a really long time, because those guys are all big personalities, and they all have their stigmas and their fan bases and their loyalties. And that's kind of a trope in Dance Gavin Dance, is that people are gonna argue about the vocalist, and every vocalist is gonna get shit on. That's just the nature of the beast. And so obviously, as a selfish man, like I don't want to deal with any of that shit. Like I don't
Who would?
I like to sing because I like to sing. I work really hard on it, and to have your soul imprinted on that and people just say this sucks, like that kind of hurts my feelings. But or at least it did back in the day. But I wouldn't be in this business if I didn't have thick skin. And at the end of the day, when I looked at it and these guys asked me to do it, and we had conversations about like, this is the band, like this is where we're taking it, we know you can step up and do this, like we want to give you the opportunity. I could not be more grateful for that. And it really helped me push myself as a lyricist and as a vocalist to do things I've never done before, and to make my best product. And to have that opportunity and then to see it pan out like this, regardless of anything else, is like, I'm just so grateful. It's to take that on and have like my brothers at my back, like ready to go, and just like, yeah, fuck the noise, like let's just go and be more successful than ever. And then go and do that is crazy. It's wild.
Exactly. You're fucking crushing it.
Yeah, that's
Hell
so great to hear. So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is a workout album, party album? What do you guys personally recommend?
Go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say all of the above.
Yeah.
Well, you can listen to it however you like to listen to it, but I do think headphones for sure. are a great idea. Really capture everything going on all the different sides and all the different layers. But there's some songs too, like Space Cow, that's definite party music and like some good like into summer vibes, like out on the boat, bumping some music and wakeboarding, if that's your thing.
It's very specific.
This is good wakeboarding music. If you have a
There you
Walkman
go.
too, if you got a Walkman on your wakeboard, check
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit out. All right, good noise is gonna link you to the leak down below.
There you
Stream it from the
go.
leak.
Check it out.
No, I agree with Matt. I think like some good headphones, like if you have a good car stereo, you got some sub in there, it just sounds so cool. But the back half of the record for me is very much gym music. I love lifting to some of those songs, some of the heavier stuff, and then bump Space Cow on your wakeboard, tag us in a TikTok video.
Tag us in a
TikTok.
TikTok. We'll
There you
rerun
it. And this one should be super, super quick off top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 6 total. No more, no less.
Fun, timeless,
Ooh.
extravagant.
That's good.
Ooh.
Fuck off, man. No, I can't top that, dude.
Timeless is a real hard word to top.
Yeah, extravagant too. Yeah. Soulful, heartfelt, and epic.
Ooh.
Those are good. Oh yeah.
Solid.
And in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
A subtle feeling of despair, but that it will get better. Like
Okay.
you kind of this like general sense of like, oh shit is fucked, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, and you got to keep striving for that, because that's kind of the overarching lyrical themes of the record. Is like, yeah, things look bleak, but if we work together, we keep pushing through, we're gonna get through it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a fun time that turns into this like interesting like reflection of like everything going on in the world, like there's a lot of fun moments at the beginning of the album, and then it turns into this like, oh shit, like are we fucked? And then it's like, I think everything might be okay. We'll see, but we'll just live in today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's great. And are you guys able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the album, positive or negative?
Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say, obviously like the writing process was intense and lengthy, and going through the lineup change and figuring out how to pivot like that. Those were all kind of the obvious moments of, kind of where do we go and how do we make it work? But I don't know. So outside of that, I think for me was on the back end of the creative side, one of the coolest moments or periods, I would say, is when we all had a much more heavy hand in the visual component creations, like at least from the treatment side of like writing music video treatments and like conceptualizing the photos. Like we still have some more photos from this shoot that we're going to drop that are awesome. You'll see these because this will be out, but we're dropping like a NASA spacesuit photos next week for our Space Cow video. And then another highlight for me was getting George Clinton on a track, like Parliament Funkadelic legend. 83-year-old George Clinton is just bonkers to me. That was so crazy to get that.
That's so dope.
Yeah, that was cool to have a heavier hand in the treatment for the music videos this time around, which I think that we're gonna try and keep doing moving forward. Not that in the past the people that have written the treatments haven't done a good job, but we got ideas too, and aside from creating music, I feel like we're all creative on that level too with the visual stuff. So that was really neat to have a heavy hand in that. As far as like harder times, when I went up to re-record the new batch of songs, usually Will goes with me. So it's like I have this other guy, around to hang with, but this time I went by myself. And so I was up there for like a week, and towards the end, I was like really burnt out from recording. It's just a lot mentally tracking drums all day. And let's be honest, I'm not like 22 years old anymore. I get tired, more worn
Fair
out.
enough, yeah.
And so there was like moments of like kind of being lonely and just like shit, like this is hard. This just gets harder but then when I finished and got home, it was a really gratifying experience. So yeah, it was cool.
Hell
You
yeah.
did that shit.
Hell yeah. So for this question, I want you guys to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Onions.
Oh,
Onions. What, bro?
Wait, you got something against
I don't think I've
Funyuns?
ever seen you eat a bag of Funyuns.
Bro,
Oh.
I eat onions all the time, dude. Okay.
Yeah, you're gaslighting these people.
I'm not. I fucking love onions. Onions is like a piece of beef jerky, dude. It's hella good. Okay. Well, no, I'm not changing my answer.
I'm just well. Now I'm gonna hold you to it, dude. I'm gonna make a mental note every time you walk on the bus with a bag of Funyuns.
Yeah, right. Hey, man, where are your Funyuns, man?
Okay, all right.
Where's your industrial Costco bag?
But I'm gonna say, like, late night bus stop, it's gonna be, and I will always regret this, but I do it all the time. A hot dog, a shitty.
Ew.
I can attest. I have seen you do that. I have
Okay,
definitely seen
Funyuns
you.
is a no, but the hot dog.
But the Funyuns are going on the rider for the next tour for
Yeah,
sure.
we're getting a family size bag, dude.
Oh yeah.
No, that's good. I have seen you do the hot dog.
Have you had a hot burger before
What?
in your travels? You know the hot
What?
dog burger. It's like hamburger meat in like a
Hot dog
form of a
casing.
hot dog. Yeah.
What? Oh no, dude!
And it's
I
like
feel
unseasoned too, so it's just
Oh.
like ground meat, gray. It's
Christ
awful.
almighty. Yeah, I mean, I bet the macros are pretty good though.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, we might be onto something there.
Oh man. Yeah, for me, I used to be horrible with snacks. I would just get a sweet tooth, and I'm also just kind of terrible. I used to be a lot more wasteful, so I would just like get a bunch of things that I would like to taste, and I would just take a little bit and like throw the rest away. It was so fucking shit you do when you're in your late teens, early 20s.
Mhm.
Now if I'm rolling up to a gas station late at night, it's definitely some type of Gatorade, just to refuel. And then I'm a big fan of those Take Fives. I like those Take Fives.
What? I've never seen you eat a fucking Take Five.
Oh, dude. All right.
No,
Okay.
shots are
He
being
was
fired from
waiting.
both sides. He was
Right.
waiting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, buddy. We're gonna have a competition on the next tour. Who can get the most? A bus full of Take Fives and a bus full of fun.
Disgusting. I don't know if I want to be on that bus.
Oh,
That's
you-
foul.
Oh, dude.
Awful combo. Jesus. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh man, we all kind of in the last couple years have really gotten into like once in a while, like on tour, like treating ourselves to like a nice fine dining experience,
How sweet.
at like a Michelin star type restaurant. So I feel like we would be some elegant, beautiful dish, like some scallops with some puree, and some broccolini.
Yeah, it's a wagyu steak, but then John comes in a clown costume and honks confetti in your face at the end.
Oh,
So-
see?
something to add a little flair at the end. No, I would
A
agree
little
with Matt.
sparkle.
That fine dining is a good analogy. You get different courses, you get to
Mhm.
kind of sample everything. I also think it's very nuanced. I mean, even from my going from being a fan back in high school of Dance Gavin Dance. And I remember like being a huge DBM fan. And granted, mind you, these guys were already on I think they were on acceptance speech at this point, but I'd found them when I was in high school, and DBM was like my introduction.
Mhm.
And then I go down the Wikipedia rabbit hole. I'm like, oh, they've already kicked this guy out twice. What in the fuck is going on with this band? And then I find like Happiness. And I remember listening to Happiness and be like, this sucks. I do not like this record at all.
That's like, that's
bro.
my favorite.
I was like, I hate this. And then I go back, and after, you know, joining and playing some of those songs, go back and playing NASA, Tree Village, I'm like, oh man, this is a work of art. Like this is a great record. Like, and Death Star, going back and like, this is awesome. This is like some great stuff. It like, and we hear that from fans too all the time, where they're like, I listened to this record and I fucking hated it. I talked nonstop shit for like 2 years, and then it just clicked, and now it's my favorite record of all time. And you're like, yeah, Dance Gavin Dance will do that to you. Yeah. You know, it's like you kind of have to sample a little of everything, and that's the thing I love most about this band, and something that like our true fans understand is that the band, this is one of the only bands that's going to give you all these eras and all of this catalog of music that, okay, if you don't like a couple songs from here, you don't like this album, you got 10, 11, 12 other albums to go through and soak in all of these influences that range from R&B to soul to pop to screamo to metalcore to hardcore. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, find another band that can do all of that in a catalog, rather than like microscoping this one thing you don't like. Why don't you fucking get off the internet and just chill and go listen to good music and just be a normal, functioning, non-redditing human being?
Yeah, on Reddit. Yeah.
And then I don't want to shit just on Reddit, but like, you know, it's just the internet in general.
Absolutely.
Little less time on the internet, little less time on Twitter.
Unless you're watching Good Noise podcast.
Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah.
Spend all the time on the internet, please. Get the ad numbers up. And for the last couple of questions, I'm going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh my God, I got to chime in on this one. Okay, so this is going to be like a personal anecdote story, but Matt can attest. We were on the last tour, and there was a steakhouse by our stop in Texas. I think we were Dallas or something, Houston, something like that. No, it was probably closer. It's Austin or something.
We were in
Fort Worth. That's right. So we were in Fort Worth. We had a day off. And sorry about this camera thing. I just got this new laptop.
It's been very fancy, panning in and out.
Exactly.
Crazy, dude. What's going on?
It adds some spice.
Actually in there filming.
Yeah, I'm like, he's got his own personal camera guy.
I hired a guy. I got my guy. Yeah, my wife's down here. The baby's in the office.
The budget just went up. You know, when Andrew does interviews with us.
Hey,
wow.
I'm trying to bring you guys production.
I appreciate it.
It's what we deserve.
So we hit this steakhouse on a day off. And I, you know, not to be overly gluttonous, but I am a big fan of steak. I'm a huge fan. Sorry, vegans, vegetarian. I'm offended. I'm an addict, bro. I've probably been to like over 200 steakhouses in the world since I've been on tour. Like, I've been many places. This was the best steak I've ever had in my entire life. No bullshit. And Matt was there. It was like a 5-star Wagyu. The guy like pitched us on it. He had a whole pitch. He was like, of course, yes, it's going to be $200, but it's the best Wagyu in the world. I got it custom made. It's like truffle butter. Whatever was wherever I got to source that's my death row meal. I'll take like 4 of those and I'm set. Like, give me 4 of those, and then I'm going to discuss some of your viewers like a glass of ice cold milk.
Oh. Wow, so just the whole cow.
The whitest answer you can imagine. That's my answer.
Glass of milk and steak. Crazy, actually.
Yeah. But you discussed the host with that one too.
Yeah, Charlie Day would be stoked. Just a fat milk.
Oh my God, milk steak. Yeah.
Jelly beans.
Jelly beans.
Yeah, just a milk steak and some jelly beans. I'm set.
Man, for me, I don't know. That's tough because I could do like a surf and turf action. You know, a nice filet mignon with the lobster tail.
Oh, we did that at that steakhouse too. We had the lobster tails with it too.
You always got to add a lobster tail.
It's not too late.
But also, I don't know though. Maybe I would just do a like a really good barbecue bacon cheeseburger with some onion rings and a side of ranch. Like I that is like a big go-to of mine also.
That is a classic.
And how are you washing that down?
Yeah, put some Funyuns on that bitch.
Yeah, I know it brings Funyuns. Okay, Funyuns and a hot dog with
a gas station hot dog.
You deserve corporal punishment if that's your last meal on that road.
And what was your drink? I'm sorry, with your burger.
Oh shoot, a drink.
Mhm.
A glass of ice cold milk.
Stop! Don't go with that.
Don't
Man,
encourage him.
Drink's hard because like I don't drink anything cool. It'd be iced tea.
Yeah.
Nice tea.
I gave
Yeah.
up soda a couple years ago, so I don't know. Maybe I would have a soda though then.
Yeah, it's your death meal. It's your cheat.
Like a Dr. Pepper, you know?
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Dr. P. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
A fiction.
Lego world.
Oh, yeah,
Where-
like master builder type shit.
Yeah.
Where you're a Lego guy, or you're like God of the Legos in the Lego world.
No, I just want to be like a Lego guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not too crazy.
Oh man, that's a toughie. Oh, there's so many cool.
Mar- Can I
fictional
change?
worlds.
Can I
Are you-
change?
Already backing off.
No, it's a
It'd be
one-time
Mario-
answer.
Super Mario World.
Oh,
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's dope. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, that's tough. I've just always been a fan of the Final Fantasy series. I just think that the world builds on those are so beautiful. I just got done playing the FF7 remake, the Rebirth one, and it was so gorgeous. Like I love those landscapes. I love the world building environments on that. So probably that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
And I've done of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What is your favorite color?
Navy blue. I'm boring as hell. Dude.
That's a classic.
I just love a good navy blue, man. That's
Oh,
just
yeah.
my jam.
I've
Or burgundy. I like a burgundy. You know?
Oh, spicing it up a bit.
Yeah, a little spicy burgundy. You know.
I've always been a red guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have a specific
just
shade?
a general red.
Yeah.
General
Is it
red.
classic red?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
classic red, dude.
That's great.
I'm trying to get a feel, you know?
Yeah. That's great.
Uh,
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Check out our new album Pantheon. It's out September 12th. We're very stoked on it. We're already writing new shit. We got some cool stuff coming. Matt, do the second plug.
Keep your eyes out for upcoming tours and shows. And thanks for all the support over the years.
Yep. Shout out to Funyuns for sponsoring the cast.
Thanks, Funyuns.
Shout out
Take
Funyuns. All right. Well, thank you. Sounds guys. Been Andrew and Matt from Dance Gavin Dance, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.